Greetings, fellow citizens of Frost Harbor. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to the final episode of Frostpunk 2 Frost Harbor. Episode 8, Stability. Alright. Another thing that I think would really help out is to upgrade the amount of coal that we can extract from the ground. So I'm going to research the dust coal mine, which is the Bohemians' ideal. Because we have this deep mine, but we're not boosting it. And that will help to fill my coal up faster, preparing for the next big storm. Also, if I recall, I think there was coal just like waiting out here to be collected. Was it here? No. It was here. So let's collect this coal. That will help out a lot. Alright, now I can grant agenda to machinists. And then use that extra boost to de-radicalize the overseers yet again. But yeah, quelling that that protest, everyone loves me except for the overseers. Like, everyone is like, screw the overseers. I'm gonna condemn them once again. And now our materials are fixed because the overseers basically got their teeth kicked in from my guard squads. Oh, sweet! And the Bohemians have expanded their rallies, and I'm going to ask for expanded workforce so that I can employ more people. But, oh boy. I'm going to bribe the union leaders so that I don't have to provide more goods. So I have a fund projects on foragers to fulfill as a promise, and fund projects on laborers to fulfill. And my support from foragers is devoted, laborers is devoted, bohemians is devoted, machinists is supporting, but very close to devoted. So almost everyone is completely devoted, and it has entire perfect trust with me. Except for the overseers, who hate me and I don't care. Because screw those guys. And the Bohemians have offered to employ more people. I just don't know. I'll probably put them in the dust mines once I have that researched. So, in the interim, let's put them in the Research Institute, and then we'll put them in the dust mine once the dust mine is all set. Because I'm trying to prep for the last storm. So we have found the food and fuel colony, but obviously I'm like basically out of time for the stream. So the last thing I'm going to do is to try to survive the whiteout.
The right of way to frost-breaking teams in...
So let's collect oil. So I'm collecting oil and I'm collecting coal. And another research that would be really good to get is the efficient generator fuel research heading into this next megastorm. I'm also going to start exporting coal from Ironhome to Frost Harbor, because Ironhome's coal stockpile is basically maxed. Oh, it wants me... Crime's going up. So let's turn on another surveillance watchtower. And crime is now diminishing. Good. Some of that crime is due to a shortage in goods. And I have a lot of prefabs, so let's go back to making goods. So we don't have the good shortage to contend with. So Max, back to answering your question. Can I shortly summarize the main problems, bugs, and disadvantages of the game? So the main problems and bugs would be late game, it starts to run pretty sluggishly when you have like a lot of colonies. And there is some bugs with certain event triggers not working correctly that I've run into, but I haven't really done a deep dive into what other people are reporting as bugs. But one of the benefits of this game is I think there's pretty high replayability. And there's a lot of achievements that you can only do like 1 or 2 achievements per achievement run. So if you're an achievement hunter, there's a lot of replayability, which is, I suppose, a bit of a benefit to people that want replayability out of their games. Yeah, let's take that coal. And the dust coal mine has been researched. So the next research that I wanted to queue up is Generator Upgrade 2, which allows us to optimize a specific fuel source for the generator once built. And let's get that dust coal mine built, which requires 400 workforce. So I'm going to turn off one of the research facilities and set up the dust coal mine. Because the idea that I have is to try to like essentially maximize the amount of like coal and oil. I mean, oil is going to be a little tough because I can't increase the source of that so easy without pump jacks. But essentially trying to max out the amount of fuel that I have going into this storm. I don't think this whiteout has a specific type yet, or maybe it's beyond our forecast. So I don't know about that yet. No access to deposit. What the hell are you talking about? That's a bug. It's on a deep melting drill. That's just not true. Does it need more people? I'm confused as to why that is not running. Turn on, please. Hello? Turn on. Does this not work for deep coal veins? Let me turn the whole thing off and then turn it back on. Oh, it's magically on. Okay, so these are some of the little bugs that you'll run into. So now my coal production has gone up a lot. And all I did was turn it off and on again. Yeah. So a little bit of insight into some of the issues. They're not terrible. Like, they're manageable. Most of the time. Hey, bud. So Ironhome. Let's check in on Ironhome. Heading into the storm. Ironhome actually has a bit of a housing problem. Pretty easy to solve. And there's a bunch of like unemployed people. So we could tap more resources. Yeah, let's do that. I'm going to tap some of the wood trees. Or actually, I'm going to try to get out to the iron vein, the last one. The only issue with this iron vein is it's exposed to the wind. So knowing that we have a storm incoming... Whoa, actually... Ironhome is not getting hit by a storm. The storm, as you can see, is not on the forecast, so it misses Ironhome entirely. Good to know. So maybe I won't do anything extreme. What I can do is set up a hub here for like materials. Oh, it doesn't hit both? It would if I frostbroke that spot. Perfect. So that reduces the overall work in both locations and allows them to start stockpiling materials in surplus. And the housing issues have nearly been resolved here. I also think that a heating hub would be good. Where it is most effective. Hits 3, that's pretty good. So put some heating hubs down. That hits 2. That hits 2. And I'll get 2 over here too. Because we have a lot of excess materials in Ironhome, and I could reduce its heating needs by adding material, adding heating hubs. So now it has a bit of a deficit of materials, and it has a lot of workforce, so we can solve that by just mining up some of the frozen forest. And then the remaining unhoused, I'll just expand a little bit of homes here pretty inexpensively. Alright, what's going on over here? Mandatory unions. So they want to decrease stamps or send them away. I'll pay them off. Ugh. Yeah, allowing unions is a little brutal, but you know, I started it. I said I was pro-union. I'm not going to back down from that. I bribed them a little bit, but I'm going to let them have their way most of the time. So the last thing I wanted to build here was an extraction district for the frozen forest to try to balance out the materials. And the adaptive injectors just got researched, so I'll be building that soon over in oh, perfect. It's all balanced. I don't need to do anything else. So as you can see, it's all good. And I can export those 10 extra over to Frost Harbor. Frost Harbor! Haven't checked in on you in a while. Let's de-radicalize... Oh, that's on cooldown. Isolated children. We are going to allow healthy parents to quarantine with children? Nah. When you're sick, you're sick. So we have a little bit of a homelessness problem. I think when I was looking away, we had more immigrants come to Frost Harbor, which is why Frost Harbor's population is like 20k. So I obviously have to house them before the storm hits. Well, I don't have to, but I should. Honestly, I could send them away to Ironhome, because Ironhome isn't getting hit by a storm. The storm is missing it. So that also means that resource nodes near Ironhome... Oh no, this oil is definitely going to get hit. But as you can see, the storm is passing. So the sections back here are actually not going to be affected. Like these hills and this broken mountain might not get hit. Which could mean that like when the oil facilities get shut down, I can send the scouts out to actually do other things. But generally when Frost Harbor gets hit, it will shut down the scouting entirely. So yeah, coal is going to be filled in 4 days. I did want to build the adaptive injectors, and I need a little bit more prefab for that. So let's try to get that before the storm hits us. And the oil derricks are getting shut down now from the storm. So this oil just got shut down. And I am going to try to do something a little silly. I know I need prefabs, but I'm going to run a sky all the way out to this material node. Because this material node is pretty far away from where the storm is happening. And that will allow me to, like, max a lot of materials while the storm is raging. Which might be nice.
Remember to keep your heat lamp maintained. It might just save your life.
Oh yeah, there it is. Got those materials. And there's even more materials up there, but I don't need those. Cool. Do have a bit of a homelessness problem here, but coal is maxed. And I'm not going to worry about that, because my plan is to put the adaptive injectors into our furnace here and optimize it for coal so that we're burning coal preferentially. That way we can stockpile oil and not have to worry about this storm ravaging us like times before. So here is the storm. This is my final storm. My Moby Dick. Here we go. So let's adapt it for coal, because I have a nice surplus of coal, allowing us to stockpile oil and boost it. We're down to -110. The other thing I can do with all of the fuel or materials surplus that is still coming in is turn on all the heating hubs, because we have so many excess materials, it ain't no problem. Go back to supplying all the goods that everyone demands. And in fact, even in the middle of the storm, I'm going to expand my goods production. That's right, I'm crazy. We're going to use some of the extra people that need jobs to boost food, because food is in the negatives and could be solved. And then any prefabs that I make extra, I will I'll put towards housing. Are there food nodes that I could hit out here? Because feeding ourselves is a little difficult with the fertile soil being ravaged by the storm, but I think I didn't notice any food. No, there isn't any yet. There's the potential food colony, but I'm not about to start a colony in the middle of this nonsense. Forget that noise. So, we're mid-storm deep blue. But as you can see, I have a growing stockpile of oil and a not-so-dwindling stockpile of coal. We, despite the fact that we have a little bit of homelessness, are so much better set up for this storm than before.
Evacuated out.
And it's almost entirely due to the sky rail infrastructure around the world, as you may have noticed. That's a very powerful tool to add an incredible amount of surplus stuff, surplus materials or fuel or whatever you need most urgently. The last generator upgrade is the really expensive one, but which costs 40 cores, so it's not one that we can like easily roll out. So instead, let's research hydraulic pump jacks. So if we wanted to increase our oil output here at home, I could do that. Let's optimize for... No, you know what? Forget that. Keep going with coal. We're barely losing any coal, and we're still gaining oil. We are just swimming in fuel this time around. Mostly because of how messed up it was last time. I over-prepared. I'm changing where I'm growing food because I think there's more adjacency bonuses for this one over here. And once I get 200 prefabs, I can make another housing district. Come on. Although a lot of the workforce that isn't housed is now sick. Oh, and we have more Frostland teams. So I think another one of those oil nodes just got swept up in the storm. The materials up here are still free. But because of the storm, we can't do any surveying. So what I'm going to do is just create infrastructure to basically continually tap the resources around the map, even if the storm's running, so that we don't lose access to materials really at all. I'm barely losing coal. Wow. Solid. And in one more week, I will have the prefabs to make another house. Oh, there's the other materials. As you can see, it just got tapped. I now have a crazy surplus of materials. Alright, so I need 200 workforce for that. I don't currently have any radicalized people, so I probably don't need the survey towers, or the surveillance towers rather, active. She'll shut them off. I can always turn them back on and like move personnel around if I absolutely need them on. And housing district maybe here. Actually, I'm going to leave this center point open so that I can put another heating hub there once I shuffle around a little bit more employment. So let's get rid of the ventilation tower, the moss one, to put a heating hub in there. Oh, but for the heating hub, I need even more prefabs, and I don't exactly have the prefabs at the moment. So let's, oh well. So even during a massive storm, I've almost solved our homelessness crisis in -110 Celsius. Solid. At this point, I'm like not even losing coal, really. Like 9 coal, big deal. So let's shift the prefabs back over to goods so that I don't have a goods shortage causing crime. And then turn on those other two, the two surveillance towers that are turned off to, again, tamp down further on crime. Essentially, I feel like anytime I give the overseers leeway, they commit crimes. I don't know if there's any other housing districts I could expand in order to end homelessness during this. No, it looks like all of my housing districts that can grow... Oh no, this one can grow. I just need a frost break, which I don't have the personnel for. So yeah, I'll just ride out the remainder of the storm. Turn off the generator a little bit. We aren't even losing, honestly, that much coal. That's not that big of a loss of coal. And I could import some more from Iron Home, because Iron Home's near maxed out on coal. Or actually, their stockpiles are maxed, so they can export all their excess coal back to us. How to get rid of opposing factions? So one of the ways to do it is build prisons and sweep them into the prisons. Or to continually... They're preparing a protest? Really? Seriously? In this? I'm sorry, but no. You're not protesting in this whiteout. That's ridiculous. Or alternatively, you can try to set them up to have their own colony so that you can separate the population entirely or create an enclave. There's a whole bunch of different types of solutions. Or honestly, just let the political violence escalate and then have them die in the conflict. I mean, I don't prefer that option, but that's certainly one that would work. Just gets a little bloody. Yeah, it's interesting that the storm completely missed Ironhome, and not only that, but now we have tar pits that are turning back on because the storm has passed by them. All right, food is a bit of a problem. That needs a slight attention. Also, my materials are maxed, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my district that gets materials in lieu of turning on the districts that get food. Am I researching? I'm not researching anything at the moment, so I'm going to turn off the research tower so that I can house more people. There. And my balance up here is pretty good, especially for like in the middle of a negative 110 storm. There we go. I think it's safe to say that given I am revered, that almost every faction has very strong relations, and we've weathered our third storm, that this is now maybe not completely done with the colonizing Frostland, but most of the initial challenges of setting up a self-reliant colony have been solved. I think that's pretty safe to say. This storm was a big nothing burger compared to the previous two storms, and it was significantly colder. It was like 20 degrees colder than the previous storms, and we weathered it without, honestly, all that much effort, thanks to strategically placed heating hubs and a massive amount of imported material from our materials outpost. And from here, as you can imagine, what's left to do is to, you know, start and ramp up the fuel and food colonies and have them all share resources with one another through skyways and freight and all that, so that they all support one another, so you don't really have shortages anywhere. But this is where I'm going to leave off for the stream, with Frost Harbor at about 20k and Ironhome at, what is it, 6 something? Almost 7,000. Let's call it, round it up to 7,000. Thanks for tuning in to the marathon. It was so much fun. Thank you for tuning in to Frostpunk 2 Frost Harbor, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 21st. Frost Harbor was cut from the second half of the marathon. In the first half I covered the story, and the second half was a Utopia called Frost Harbor. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow harbormen.